Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and I know this episode is late. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. How can I do this late? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was out of town. Sorry. I went to go see Bert Kreischer do the Fully Loaded tour in Orange. Is it Orange Beach, Alabama? Orange Beach, Alabama. I didn't get in the water. I had said before this trip I thought I might try to get into the Gulf waters, but did not do that, mainly because it was ridiculously hot. Here in South Carolina, we're along the Atlantic Ocean, and we have a breeze that blows from the coast towards us. It's kind of a nice little breeze this time of year. It's hot outside, but the breeze kind of cools it a little bit. Um, in the Gulf area, there was zero breeze. There was cautionary flags for riptide, I guess because of the activity going on with tropical storms and stuff in the Gulf area. But it was so hot that we were just like, you know what? I think we're gonna skip the beach this time. Let's go and hang out in the room and see what's on Netflix. Um, Now I got to tell you, the Fully Loaded show, amazing, but I kind of got just some time to spend with my friend Greg. I know this is going to sound kind of silly, but we've been friends since we were 15 years old, and we first hung out and listened to Guns N' Roses songs and sang them together, and just enjoyed each other's company. And we started talking about the fact that we've been friends since we were, 15, and I'm guessing 15. I was in ninth grade, whatever the age that is. I know I wasn't driving yet, maybe 14. Anyway, so for 35-ish years, me and this human have been buddies. And I said, "What is it about us? Like why are we still such good friends? What is the underlying current here?" And for us, it is our we kind of boiled it down. We figured out that it was our inherent trust in one another, that we never had to say anything other than just living our lives, and we just feel like the other person's always got the other person's back no matter what. And we sort of grew up together and created our sense of humor around the same time. Like we bounced ideas off each other, trying to find the humor in our society and in our personalities. Excuse me. Uh, this is not pre-recorded, as you can tell. Um, this is us. Our time during that time was like trying to talk to girls, trying to talk to other people, trying to decide who we're going to be as adults, trying to navigate what it's like to learn to drive, what it's like to, go to work, get a job for the first time, maintain a job. Just simple things, but also like developing our senses of humor and sort of having like free space to think and say anything in front of each other and know that none of it comes with any malice. And we can be honest with each other. And we've done that since we were little kids, since we were, barely teenagers. And yeah, so this is a great trip for me just to hang out with him. And I don't know, it's kind of like it sort of resets my brain a little bit. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I hope everybody out there has someone like that they can spend time with, and it helps them just feel, I don't know, completed in a way, or grounded in a way. I guess grounded is a better word. Greg is my buddy that grounds me. So it was great to spend time with him. We had a lot of things we could have done. We did go looking around the pavilion area of this Wharf Amphitheater thing they had started to build. They're not done building it, and to be honest, a lot of it is outside. We were walking around, and with zero wind blowing and the sun baking on you, it was really hard to walk around and enjoy it because it was so hot. God, it was hot. We did go in an arcade. We thought it might be like an old school kind of arcade with a bunch of old video games. It wasn't. It was just some, like two games of skee ball and one thing. They had like one thing of everything that has been in some kind of pizza joint at some point. One thing of the basketball and one thing of the bowling and one thing of the ring toss and what is just a bunch of crap in a room, basically. We walked in, looked around, and walked out. They had attached to it though a laser tag game with like a room that you go in and play laser tag with a group. Now that would have been fun when I was younger and much thinner and more agile. But now that I'm, 50 years old and a little bit overweight and having some sciatica issues, it is not very conducive for me to do that right now. They would just go, "Hey, let's get the target," because that's what would be my name at that point. It wouldn't be teammate or whatever. It'd just be target. They also had a game with a Nerf ball and like a CO2 canister gun that shoots these little Nerf balls at people. They called it bazooka ball. But I guess they use the same room for both, and they just kind of interchange whether it's laser tag or bazooka ball. We didn't do that, but we did walk down a little bit further, and they had like a virtual reality game room, and we had seen it online, and it looked pretty interesting. Walked inside and was checking it out, and right off the bat, they had these two motorcycle-looking things that were up in the front on the right, and there was a couple in there that were talking about, oh, we want to do jet skis, and like I guess the games you can choose what you're riding, and they have different versions of the game that you can ride together. And so one of the ones was riding jet skis, and they had television screens so you could see what they see. And it was pretty neat. And we watched other people playing other stuff. They had one that was a shooter game, and I would have done the shooter game had I been able to see properly. And but my shooting eye is my bad eye, so I was like, that's not going to be any fun. I can't really hit anything. um, and also, I don't really want to test it with a VR thing. I mean, that's not where that's going to happen. But anyway, they had a roller coaster thing. They had one with shoulder harnesses, which I imagine means it like flips upside down and stuff. They had one in the back that looked like the ride for Dinosaur at Disney. It was like a six-person car, and I'm sure you put the VR headset on and you ride through a thing, and I don't know. We didn't do that one either. We did the motorcycle one. We waited for them to finish, and then we got on it. And she said, "How about the one that's like Tron? Would you like to try that?" I was like, "Oh, that sounds interesting." Um, we did the Tron one, and I wish I'd have done the water ski one. I think that would have been cooler, because the Tron one, you're in this confined track and there's obstacles to miss, but the intuitive of the controls is not very good. Like you can kind of move side to side, but it randomly just wants to lose control and just spins you out. It was very cool seeing and being able to look around and see the environment around you. But I'm sure that this is really similar to what they have with like the PlayStation 5 and the Oculus and the one that whatever one it is that Xbox has come up with is probably similar. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, we've definitely worked up a sweat, weirdly enough, just playing this game. I guess because it was so intense and it does engage so much of your sight that you feel like you're actually doing it. There was a moment where I got a little dizzy and I was like, why am I dizzy? I'm in a room on a plastic motorcycle. This is so stupid. Um, so, you know, you do have to have a little bit of common sense as you're doing these types of things and sort of take yourself out of it sometimes. It is very engaging. So, um, but yeah, we did that and we talked about maybe going to see a movie. Did not do that. Ended up hanging out in the room and watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I had heard it was funny. I had seen it advertised. I think I tried to watch one episode when it first came out on Fox back when I had regular TV. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be watching this. Um, so we watched like 20 episodes on Netflix because it's on Netflix. And we just hit stream and watched it. And we kept checking in with each other, like, you okay doing this? They're like, yeah, I am. Are you? Yeah, this is actually pretty funny. So yeah, that's kind of what we did. Um, we had some really good food for brunch the next day. There's a seaside place called, uh, what was it called? It's not Fast Track. I don't know. I think I actually sent a picture to somebody. Now I'm curious. Now I want to say it. Now I feel like you guys are like hanging on your edge, being like, "What's it called?" I don't know what it's called. What's it? Where to eat? Um. hmm, 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 hmm. I sent it to somebody. Anyway, this place was just fantastic. Foodcraft. Okay, so let me talk about Foodcraft for a second. The place is gorgeous. If you're ever in Orange Beach, Alabama, you gotta check out Foodcraft. It is really good. It's attached to like a public parking area for a public beach, and then there's like hotels on either side of this main building. And the main building has two different eating areas in it. It's got the Foodcraft place, and then it's got a place called the Perch. And I'm assuming that the Perch is on top, like a ocean view, sunset view kind of thing. And that'd have been cool. But this was, earlier in the day. I had seen the pictures online and I thought, Foodcraft, well, that's a neat name. Um, yeah, oh, look at the pictures online. These look great. So sure enough, we went in and we had right off the bat an appetizer that was a bacon wrapped shrimp on a jalapeno popper kind of thing. Man, you talk about good. Holy cow. And then I had like an avocado toast thing with two poached eggs on top. And that was really fantastic. Greg had some banana bread French toast. Um, Fantastic meal. Also, there was a guy playing like some smooth jazz saxophone over in the corner. And apparently, it was a lot of people's birthdays because he kept doing the happy birthday to different tables. And I was like, oh, okay, kind of cool, I guess. Um, there was also a bridal shower, which was neat. Okay, so anyway, good food, Foodcraft. Check it out if you're ever there. Um, Now let's fast forward. Let's go to the concert. So we kind of went back to the room, took a little nap, waited our time, and you want to be fully rested and ready. So we went to the show. Parking at the venue at the Wharf Amphitheater is really good. It had rained earlier that day, so the parking is not like paved. We were on grass, but there's gravel and there was water, so you had to kind of walk around it. But we went to the furthest side that you could go, which, if you're looking at the stage, would be the right side of the stage. So we entered from the right side of the stage. They have more than one entrance. They have it on the right, the left, and the back. So really convenient to like get in access. Getting out of there was a super pain in the butt, but that's kind of the same at every venue I've ever been to. It's always hard to disembark that many people, and it's very hard to just be patient and wait. Like a lot of people don't even stay for the good night, everybody. Like I was kind of hoping for something cool. And I mean, it was kind of cool to see everybody up there, including Bert and Leanne and the girls, with everybody else. And they're all waving and stuff. And that was kind of neat. I didn't need to stay for it. I just felt like they might do fireworks. There was no fireworks, but there was, however, a surprise musician. Um, so Cypher Sounds is a DJ from New York. Apparently, he says that a lot. He's very popular in New York. He came out and he DJ'd and he told jokes and he was funny and he engaged the audience and he got the audience pumped up, but kept them pumped up for a good while. And then we had some comedians come out. Dan Soder, Dave Attell. Dave Attell was really good. Holy cow. Matt McCusker. Um, who else? Stavros Halkias? Halkias? Stavros. He just goes by Stavros. Whitney Cummings, and Big J Okerson. And to me, like everybody brought really good energy, really good jokes. Um, Big J kind of did some crowd work, which he's known for, but from the pacing and the energy of the night, Big J was probably the quietest I heard the crowd. I guess because they were waiting to hear what he said. Dave Attell killed. Dave Attell and Whitney really killed. Um, and then they bring out a musical guest, this guy named Marcus King. So I had to look him up online. Um, Bert had said he's from the Greenville, South Carolina area, and he's 28 years old. He's got a voice like almost like a mixture of Otis Redding and BB King. He's a white dude, plays guitar like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Um, just an amazing talent. I automatically am a fan. He plays this blues southern rock kind of sound. Let's see, what is this? What does his bio say here? Marcus King is an American musician, singer, songwriter, and guitarist. He's initially known as the lead singer and guitarist, the founder of the Marcus King Band. In 2020, his album El Dorado, recorded under his own name, received nomination for Best Americana Album at the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards. Um, he's married. His wife came out and sang with him. Um, yeah, yeah. So he's from Greenville, South Carolina. Now, even Bert had mentioned that he said I invited him. I told him I couldn't have. I like our budget was already blown for the tour, and I said, but if you want to come out and play, you can. And so, like Marcus flew himself there and did it all on his dime to come out and play. And he played for maybe 20, 25 minutes and just lit everybody up. From every direction, I heard people go, "Oh my goodness, listen to this guy!" And like women were just, he would finish a lick and they would hoop and holler, and guys would be like, "Oh my god!" I mean, this guy was really really good. I think we're going to see a lot more of Marcus King here pretty soon. So check him out. I mean, phenomenal talent, phenomenal. But yeah, Bert came out, did his thing. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. I'm glad I went. I kind of wish I had gone somewhere closer. I mean, it was it was quite a thing to go to someplace I'd never been before. Although I did want the adventure of it, and I'm glad that I got to go to Greg's first and spend time with him, and then go to this, and then come back to Greg's and spend time with him more, and then come home. Um, but I mean, Bert was in, Savannah, which is closer, and Macon, which is closer. I could have done the same thing doing that. I just didn't. I wanted to try something new. Um, but yeah. Um, okay, so let's talk about stuff I heard. I listened to a crazy podcast on the way down there. Dan Cummins' Time Suck, and it was about um, Nasser. What's his name? Larry Nasser, the guy who did he was the Olympic medic that like was sexually inappropriate with a lot of gymnasts. Um, they did a documentary about him on Netflix, apparently. Um, this was a Time Suck episode that he recently did. And yeah, said for 18 years he was the team doctor for the United States Women National Gymnastics team, where he used his position to exploit and sexually assault hundreds of young athletes. Yeah, he's a bad guy. um, thank God that we live in an age where there's podcasts out there like Time Suck and people like Dan Cummins who can do a historical podcast about someone as horrific as this guy and find a way to add a little bit of humor to the situation to make it digestible enough to kind of get the overtone. I mean, in a way, I enjoyed this more than I would have. I don't think I'm going to watch the Netflix special. I didn't like this guy when all this stuff came out. I just was angry, and I'm sure a lot of people felt that way. Um, but listening to Dan do the podcast, I really liked his version of it. Um, so yeah, I know this is a week behind, but is anybody else watching House of Dragons? I just want to know. There was a commonality in week 2 of House of Dragons and the most recent Acolyte, which I think is like number 4 or 5, whatever it is, in the twin scenario. There's twins. So if anybody's done that, let me know because I kind of want to talk about it. There is the duality of twins in all sorts of literature about, the yin and the yang, the good with the bad. Um, and somehow they can oppose each other, but also be in love with each other in a way. I mean, it's not uncommon for twins to feel like they can't live without the other, right? And there is a commonality between these shows, and there is an episode with twins in House of Dragons, um, and an acolyte that's very similar. But anyway, I kind of want to know, is anybody watching it, or do they want to talk about it? Does anybody want to talk about anything? I feel like I talk all the time and nobody listens. But maybe that's just me. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody is accomplishing all they want to accomplish right now, and that you're enjoying the summer, and that you're getting some sun, but also using sunscreen. Um, it's a beautiful day outside. I kind of want to go out and be in it, but I also don't want to be on fire because it is that hot. So anyway, thank you to everybody who listens. Thank you for everybody who watches the YouTube. I appreciate it. Thank you to Greg and Lane for being a great host and hostess to me visiting. Thank you to my wife for holding down the fort here while I was gone, and to everybody at work for making sure the place didn't burn down while I was gone. That's awesome. Um, But yeah, tomorrow back to the grindstone. So hope everybody's doing well. And just remember, cue the cow.
Cue the cow. Moo, baby.